listening to the sounds of something special. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hi guys, how we doing? Fuck. Good morning, quackheads. Fucking hell. Hi, how's everyone doing? Fucking hell. Sorry, a lot of the shit has been, wow, I think I saw him like 5 times within the first 20 seconds. Hi guys, how we doing? Huh? There's a lot of technical shit happening right now and it's making me very irritated, but we're gonna push through because I really just don't need that stress in my life right now, you know what I mean? Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to Quack Chat, episode 1. What's the episode called again? Isn't it Innocent Biracial Tendencies? Nice. Nice. Welcome to this episode, guys. Hope you guys are doing good. How are you? Really? Oh, that's crazy. Mad. 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 Hey, okay. Um, I guess this is just me introducing myself to you guys, I guess. I've already done that whole alkaline test strip with a hint of rage. That was a great episode. You can check that out. Should be a link to it right now. And you can also check other links for that. Yeah, obviously this is the first time, but let's just get straight into it. So this episode will mainly be subject around ideas of power and control, kind of how our own individual lives play in our lives. But yeah, stick around. Like if you like it, subscribe if you like it, share if you like it. Do a whole lot of shit if you like it. You know, get a cup of tea, get some water, enjoy the fucking ride. Right, then. Let's brief you on the contents of today's podcast. So, first topic, I just want to say beforehand, I'm really hoping my family doesn't open the door and like come in while I'm recording this shit, because I really just don't need to lose it right now. But regardless, we carry on. So, let's list today's podcast contents. Great, Levi. So first topic will be on the idea of will be on the idea of power. Second topic will be on the idea of... Okay, cut. Okay, scene 1, take 2, action. Right. First topic will be on the idea of power. We'll be touching on things, for example, for power in the conventional sense. Second topic will be what does control mean? First point will be subject on loss of control. The third topic, don't mind my handling of the manuscript, will be on the inclusion of self, where it's titled The Inclusion of Self. First topic will be selflessness versus selfishness versus selffulness. And the fourth and last topic will be titled Self-Love and the Community. And the first subtopic of that will be context of being. So if there's nothing else to do, let's get into it. So just a pre-warning, this is structured. There will be points, and to explain this, it'll kind of be more of a mental exploration kind of thing. Let's say lecture. Let's go with lecture. You know, I will be counteracting my own points with other people's points. There will be elements of structured thinking while also breaking down ideas and thoughts that I may have already had or there already are, and kind of just essentially mental exploration, friction, contrast, analysis, just going through the process of thinking. I thought, hey, people get paid to unbox toys in front of people. Like, fuck it. Why not inform the people? Why not think in front of people? Maybe that would be interesting, Fuck it. Well, let's see how we go. So let's start with the first topic, shall we? Okay. So the idea of power. Um, Basically, it's just to explore the role that power plays in our lives. I think it's very, what's the word? Um, I don't want to say power is underrated because I think right now a lot of the subjects of discussion is who owns the power, who holds the power. You know, it's a discussion that has been in very political circles, activist circles, spiritual holistic circles, sociological circles, and the rest. Mm, I have to reread the question every time. But yeah, to explore the role for power plays in our lives, I think the idea of power in the everyday, essentially carpe diem, is highly underrated. Highly underrated. I think we focus so much on this sense of power over others, over our external societies. And I think that's a counter reaction towards feeling how not in control we are of external circumstances. You know, you can't feel control when you see there are people being bombed in foreign countries. Things like these are hard to accept and digest. But the funny thing is, the counter reaction to that is power over the internal environment, over the mind, over one's own actions. And that is good. That is pretty good. That was my toe bone clicking. But I think, again, it's another counter reaction, which is just going to end up with us bouncing from one to the other, which isn't a bad thing at all. And we should strive to have power over both. And when I say over our external environment, I mean our immediate environment if we can. For example, our rooms, our homes, our desk at school or at work or at uni, these kinds of things. But to have power over other people's lives, I don't think we should be. I don't think a good leader seeks for power over others, but seeks responsibility, seeks duty, and maybe to some degree achievement. But over the internal, the power to seek power over oneself and responsibility and control over oneself is also admirable. But I think power is seen as this kind of you work for it and then you get it. This kind of aim, this kind of distant thing that you grab and that you hold on to. I think that's something that isn't very healthy or helpful, to be fair. It's something that is easy to corrupt when you're working for it because it becomes a desire, the same as lust, hunger, and other vices. Well, they're not vices, but you understand what I mean. And hmm, essentially, I'm talking about the power in our daily lives, as I mentioned beforehand. The idea that you can have power every day. I mean, it's not what you have to seek, but it's something to acknowledge, you know? Sorry, give me one sec. Fuck's sake. What do you want? No, fuck off. There we go. Nice. Anyway, hi guys. Yeah, the power to have over oneself every day. And in order to do that, it kind of goes against, well, our Western society's way of thinking today, which is productivity, 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 a straight line forward. We push forward. But in order to feel like we have power over ourselves, we kind of have to be able to stop in the middle of the day and slow down, The world has human society has not been used to. Oh man, I don't even want to sound super meta analytical. I sound super pretentious right now. Fuck. Um, how? Okay, how do I say this as honestly as possible? To feel like you don't have any power now is a very dangerous game you're playing. You shouldn't feel like you don't have power today, but you shouldn't illude yourself to the idea that you have power, complete power over your external environment. It's through that acceptance. But again, it's the same kind of idea that's pushed with having control over the internal self. But it's the maintenance of having that every day, just power, the power to push forward, the power to hold back. But then it's because the definition of power is not linear. The definition I've seen, which is the same one you can see if you Google, well, I don't recommend Google. Like if you search with like, let's say DuckDuckGo, you start to see that the definition isn't particularly what we talk about, but more about the ability to acquire a skill, the let's say fortitude or aptitude of a person. In essence, power is to push forward, and the control is to be able to rein it in or to control it or not. Well, yeah, control, but like to be able to move it and know where to channel it into. So it's funny because I don't think people typically search for power. They typically search for control. And this isn't brand new information. This isn't brand new information at all. You know? Uh we consistently search for control over our environments, and it leaks out in different methods, whether it's an attachment towards material value such as money, desperation for money, for objects, for security in a physical sense, or security in a psychological sense, searching for pacifiers in any way possible. But mm, I think control is definitely more of the game behind power, the search for power. But let's continue to the next point. To the next point of the topic. Power in the conventional sense. Well, that was actually an intro, to be fair. But yeah, power in the conventional sense. We talked about the what are the benefits and the drawbacks to having power in the conventional sense? I don't know. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, power in the conventional sense. So if we're talking about power in the conventional sense, let's actually search it up because I don't want to just say I don't want to define what power in the conventional sense is to what? My own internal I don't even know what the word is. Internal. Let's go with schematics for now. Sure, let's go with that. So let's search for power definition. Okay, so we'll go with, is this Lexico? Powered by Oxford. I'm gonna guess they're credible. Now, we'll take the number one definition: the ability or capacity to do something or act in a particular way. Example for power of speech. Number two, the capacity or ability to direct or influence the behavior of others or the course of events. A political process that offers people power over their own lives. Okay. Yeah. I'd say those first two. I think number three, physical strength and force exerted by something or someone. Sexy. The power of the storm. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So it's like essentially physical strength, capacity to do something in a peculiar way, and the capacity to basically direct others. So what are the benefits? I mean, having power is pretty cool, right? I mean, one, the ability to do something, that's pretty cool, is it not? But is it? Is it? I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems kind of sketchy to me, bro. You know? Yeah, we're gonna have to slow down a bit because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me. Fuck! Okay, let's take it apart one by one. Can I just say, I'm acting very funny because I haven't taken a shit. Why? I don't know. I thought I took a shit yesterday and I thought that was cool, but apparently not. Fuck! Anyway, okay, let's construct it one by one. Fuck. All right. The ability or capacity to do something or act in a peculiar way. Okay, let's let's deconstruct the benefits and the drawbacks. Nice, Levi. Benefits of being able to act or do something in a peculiar way. Well, you basically get the second definition, don't you? The ability to direct or influence the behavior of others. You get that. Figuratively, you gain self-respect, but we need to also talk in a more literal sense. What else? You gain a skill, which is essential for survival. What else do you get with the ability? You gain leverage for business or monetary reasons. The ability to do something or act in a particular way. I mean, for fuck's sake, you gain fucking power. Like, literally, just said survival and leverage, pretty much power. So but what are the drawbacks before we lead into the second point? What are the drawbacks of being able to do something in a peculiar way? Okay, that's interesting. What's the bad thing about being able to do something in a certain way? Well, one, you're isolated because no one can do what you can do. So if you want to look for guidance, you can't really because no one can help you. And also people may be jealous of you, so they will also cast you out. So you might be isolated in that sense. Okay, fair enough. What would be another drawback? We need two more, baby. The ability or capacity to do something or act in a peculiar way. A particular way. Fuck! Oh, for fuck's sake. Give me a second. Yep. Yep. It's fucked. Yep. No. Have your thoughts. Go on. Go on. Fuck you. All right. Anyway, I'm just gonna have to organize myself better. I could have just made the part two, like, nah, fuck it. I think I'm thinking way too much about this. Power is good. Power is bad. Huh. What a surprise. Okay. Fuck. Fuck, my dude. Oh, for fuck's sake. Man, I am fucked. Anyway, benefits and drawbacks. Yeah, no, fuck this shit. Power in conventional sense. I think we already covered it. The ability to direct or saying the ability to direct or influence other people's behavior is only something that's worthy of other people. It's not good or bad. It's just redundant to go, oh, this is good, this is bad. Here's why it's good. Here's why it's bad. It's not something that is that easy. It's an actual practical matter. Therefore, it's just hidden in the millions of fucking grays there are in fucking reality. I mean, fucking what? Military will break the law. Fucking lawyers will. Well, do lawyers? Yeah, lawyers break the fucking law. Fucking how many lawyers do coke anyway? Fucking, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Doesn't make any sense to talk about how power in the conventional sense is good or bad. It's useful. It's neither good or bad. It's just that's how it works. Bear in mind, this was the example script, okay? So fuck you if you think this is bad. You're right, but fuck you. Anyway, why power is important? Well, power is important because it's useful to govern other people. Power is important when you can use it to help other people and contribute to your own society. It helps you have a role. It helps you gain an identity through the lens of others. It gives you a reputation. Power. Why would power be important? It's well, if it's the capacity to do something, it's if it's the physical strength and we translate that into other areas, it's basically just drive. It's the drive. Basically, it's just well, what's the point of living? You wouldn't want to say to become more powerful, but that is technically what you do, is it not? You come out of a fucking womb, out of your not your vagina, but your mom's vagina. Yeah, I know. Sexy keeps me up at night too. Uh, um, yeah, it's just what do you fucking want from me? What do you want from me? What? What did you want me to say? No, I'm joking. Uh, hmm the acquisition of power. Yeah, the acquisition of power is a very interesting moment because it's kind of like getting a degree. Is this what it is? Is that it? Fucking hell. It's just like we just have such a habit of glorifying everything we don't have. It's just like the grass is green on the other side. Why? Because there's constantly stuff being made more and more and more. Why? Because the people who had the power to do that have even more power. Why? Because the ability to direct and influence other people's behavior is increased with more money and status over the external environment. So, what does that equal to? Control, even in an indirect way. Instead of directly controlling people through force, you indirectly control them through persuasion, the art of the finesse. Vanessa the Vanessa. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, the acquisition of power is very sexy. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. What? What? It is. I mean, not really. It's like the beginning. It's like learning a guitar. It's like at the beginning, it's like when you make those few like steps of progress, it's like, damn, fuck, I am sick. And then at a certain level, it's just kind of like, well, fuck this shit. I'm not learning anything new. This is just boring. It's just the same pussy all over again, again and again and again and again. Um, how our perceptions are informed by who we were and inform who we are to become. Well, must I actually talk about that? Must I actually elaborate on that? Well, it is my podcast. I probably should do that, to be fair. Fuck it. Fuck! Um, I feel like if a stranger watches this, they're gonna think this nigga has Tourette's. Fuck! Fuck! Um, what can I say? You're listening to the sounds of something special. Ugh. Um, how our perceptions are informed by who we were and well, cultural norms, family norms, regulations, punishment, reward, and what's the other form? What do they call it for training dogs? It's like the way to train a dog. It's like positive and negative reinforcement. That's it. I mean, pretty much puts limitations onto who we are as seen as what is right for us. I mean, that's what happens when we turn 30, right? Obviously, I don't know that yet. But it's like when you turn 30, you look at what is not authentic to you, the cultural chains that you have held and that you wish to break free from. In fact, that happens at this moment. You could say it happens at like 21ish, like 20ish, when you're leaving home. It's kind of you're starting to feel around and see your place in the world, trying to shed some of those ideas that you had that were to protect you when you were younger, that were given to you by early education and your parents. And now it's just whoop, whoop. Yep, well, this doesn't serve me. That doesn't serve me. That's not who I am. So fuck that fucking shit. Fucking hell. It's our origin stories. The code is already inside us genetically, but there's a code we learn. I mean, for fuck's sake, the language we learn is the fucking code. Fucking spitting fucking C++ on this bitch. Fucking. If only English was a web design language, I'd actually have a skill, but I don't. So it's just like, damn. But to be fair, being able to type on my iPhone. My mum thinks I'm a computer genius. I'm not gonna lie. I might be. I might be. But hey, that's one for the future scholars. Do you know what I mean? When they dig up my grave and they're just gonna be like, damn, this nigga spitting fire. I'm just gonna be like, I said it. I said it. I'm a web designer. I told you the web is reality and I design it. All right. All right. I told you. I do this for a living, bro. I do this for a living. I'm a finesser. I'm a I'm a hustler. I'm a, I'm a nigger. No, I'm joking. I'm a, I'm a fucking, I'm a fucking, I'm a fucking, I'm a fucking, fuck. Anyway, interesting lecture. Um, yeah, our origin story is basically it's like the vase or vase, fuck you. It's the vase in which we are the water and we're flowing until we reach the tip end and then we become the full potential we could be. But again, that's all up to us as well because as time goes on, we pass through checkpoints of accountability where we shed these kind of training wheels off. It's like we're put on like 8 training wheels and each checkpoint we get lose one. No, not lose one. No, yeah, lose one because we're off balance, I guess. It off balances us, but then we lose the other one. Blah 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 blah. It's just kind of yeah. I mean, it's where we come from. It's like we're supposed to remember that, but it's not supposed to be all we are. And it's kind of a bit shit when your highlights, are in your primary or secondary school life. It's like, what? Well, no shit, because you adapted to the code of the time instead of using that to inform the codes that you need. You feel like, oh, yeah, since I'm good at this code, that's all I need. But really, those who knew like I need more code, I need more words because words are thinking tools. So if I have more words, I can think better. Therefore, I'm more equipped to handle the next stage. Some have just been good at doing stuff all their life. Like they were good they were seen as an example is primary school, secondary school, and then beyond. Some people they had to go through the first dip in the first half of their life, and then everything went upwards. For some people, everything was up and then it went down. It's kind of you either play it safe or you just take it all. And it's just kind of like it depends if you're taking it all, you choose when you take it all. You either take it when you're young or you take it when you're older. And when you're taking it when you're older, you're building towards it. So therefore it'll probably last for the rest of your life. Then you ask, What did I work for? Did I sacrifice the right things? But you'll never know because everyone always regrets the things they don't have, you know? You can have a happy marriage, but then when you're 35, regret. Oh, ugh. I can't believe I didn't fulfill my dream and get my body count to 300 fucking women from like 5 different continents. Fuck, I'm a failure. But it's just like, you have a wife that loves you, and you also have, and she probably has massive fucking tits. No, I'm joking. I don't know why I feel the need to say these things. Fuck! Um, and you might have a great job that fulfills you, but because you're constantly seeking for something else, it's kind of fucked for you. And that just goes back to the search for love, comfort, and security. It's just, it's what we want. It's what a lot of people want in some degree, somewhere. Doesn't have to be everywhere, but somewhere. Like, some people are better at it than others. Some people crave more emotional security while other people crave more material security. I know myself, I crave material security because it causes me a lot of stress. Without material security, I feel like I can't control my own environment. I feel like as if it's embarrassing to walk around and have to use the bus when I have fucking Yeezys. I'm not gonna say that I regret doing the things I've done, but it's just, you feel a lot more comfortable and within yourself when you have money in your pocket. It's like you could say it's like girls with makeup in a way. It's kind of like just that extra boost of confidence. Just like, and saying, and people can argue, no, it's not right, but I've seen a girl without makeup and with makeup and the difference. And I will say, they get a lot more cocky when they've got the fucking foundation on. You heard? Fucking bastards. Oh, don't even get me started on when they're fucking drunk. The fucking pricks. Oh, what? It's 4:30. It's 4:30 already? Oh, I need to go home to the wife. Fucking hell. Anyway, let's dial it in. Let's dial it in. You know what I mean? Hello. Fucking hell. Let's get it back. Fucking bastards. That was second topic. Psst. Hey. Psst. Hey. Psst. Yeah, you. Yeah, guess what? Second topic. What does control mean? What use is it to us? I've already touched on this, Levi. Why must you do this to me? Why is it no one hurts me as much as you? Soldier boy, tell him. Yeah, I got you this to show you fucking niggers. Woo! It's fine because I'm black, so no one will actually call me out, so I don't give a fuck. Control, loss of control. Let's see the points I've written down. Let's see what we can do with what we have. Let's see if we can do a grand mélange and see where we can go with this. So loss of control. I've touched upon. I haven't already touched upon, but written here. Anxiety plagues the mind into paralysis. I also wrote. Anxiety plagues the gut into action, which is kind of contradicting the second point because you could also say anxiety plagues. Actually, no, that would actually be right because the fight or flight response is technically innate. It's quite instinctual, while paralysis is usually due to the mind being overwhelmed because your senses don't get overwhelmed. They don't get overloaded like that. Usually, it's like very fast I mean, that's what your muscles and tissues are made for, twitching, like fibers like ready to run or to think. But when the mind is in control, you're just stuck because your mind can get overloaded. That's why you're not supposed to think in a situation of danger. You're supposed to Yeah, not think. That's exactly you're supposed to do, not think. Because thinking is just about doubting, calculating, analyzing, these kinds of things. It just produces a sense of overload, a kind of inability to handle the adrenaline rushing through your body at that current point in time. It's these kinds of situations call for um physical stress rather than mental stress, which I talked about earlier today with fucking bastard Matilda, but that's for another fucking rainy day. But yeah, I do think a loss of control, obviously controlled, it's funny, right? Because like controlling stress is a thing, you know, when you practice something under a lot of stress, it's a loss of control, but you're controlling it, which is very fun. It's like a simulation of a simulation? Nah. Nah. Man, the second episode better be fucking better than this fucking shit. Fucking. But what does control mean? Let's check the dictionary, sure. Why not? I hate when every website asks me for my cookies. No, sir, I do not want to be tracked all over the internet. Thank you very much, sir. And then someone would be like, oh, no, it's cool because, like, I got a VPN, so, like, I don't really have to worry about that. Yeah, okay. Okay. Control. Let's see. I should really bring anecdotes into this, but I don't really want you guys to know who I am. So, you know, follow me on Insta. See what I did there. See what I did there. Ah! 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 Control. Wow. The power to influence or direct people's behavior on the or the course of events. Wow, what a surprise. It's pretty much the same thing as power. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, don't worry. Guys, stop crying. Apparently Greg's was closed. Wow. The sacrifices we make for a communist society. Am I fucking right, lads? Oh, fuck! Okay, let's have some order. Let's actually get through these points because this is a fucking mess. Loss of control. Yeah, loss of control isn't very sexy, is it, really? It's just like, oh, yay, I have control. Oh, no, I don't have control. That's not very nice. Fuck. But why is it bad? Well, it's not exactly bad if you interpret it that way, which just links to the first point. So, how do you control loss of control then? Well, it's just basically, practice. It's weird. Being able to lose control is actually a skill in a way. It's just, I guess you could say it's a soft skill, something that transfers to multiple different areas of life. And it's just through constant exposure of loss of control and pressure that you truly understand how to adapt to situations where you think, and then you could even say it's innate ability as well, because lack of creativity or the ability to or lack of enthusiasm for new situations can make it a lot harder to accept loss of control. So, but I think it's still something that could be, it's still some kind of like part of your brain that can be worked on. And I'm sure it's in like, you know, cognitive behavioral therapy, you know, it's just through exposure. It's just the same thing. Fuck, I'm cold. Is there a fucking window open? Oh, fucking hell. Nothing's open. Fuck. I'm gonna tell you like this, guys. If you ever want to do a podcast, make sure you take a shit beforehand because I seriously can't hack this fucking shit. Why do I swear so much? Okay, I'm gonna try not to swear. Okay. Anger being the counter chaos to bring balance. I say this. I say this because if you haven't, for me personally, when I'm in a situation for a long time that I've been procrastinating and everything is fucking doggy do fuck back. Everything is doggy doo doo. It's just there comes this kind of pressure, not pressure, but yeah, pressure. Nice, Levi. Just this kind of pressure that's building up, building up, building up, building up, building up, and then nice. It's just it's go time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's just that. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm not explaining this to you. Okay. When things start to escalate, for example, moving out, let's say, it just starts to build and build and build, and the situation is eating you up. It's like this sense of mental stress to a certain point, which you cannot run away from it, and then you act on impulse in order to get rid of the stress. That's what I'm talking about when I say anger being the counter chaos to bring balance, which is funny because you will be in a state, it will only bring you into a state of let's say destabilization, which is well, typically that's what happens when you're in a new situation regardless anyway. So it's up to you to be able to stabilize that situation. The whole problem is the inertia towards not being stable, and it's up to you after you've put yourself in that position to kind of stabilize and find a way to get your feet, you know like I don't know why I bring this up, but like a giraffe being born, you need to learn how to walk as quick as possible. Ah, you see that? Didn't swear. Oh, nice. Fight chaos with faster chaos and move on. Kind of the same thing. Less is more. Searching for order, searching for balance, consistency, tranquility. I think I was talking about this with a friend before, and I was talking about how order is so important, and they were talking about how, you know, the chaos is good. I've never argued against chaos, but as you get older, you realize the importance of stability. The worrying thing is that the older you get, it feels like the more you need stability. But the practice of being in chaos, in being in a destabilizing situation, is so incredibly important. It's like, for example, to have a routine is not a bad thing, but the problem with always being in a routine is that your brain doesn't actually grow because you're just doing the same thing. It's no longer, you don't have to think, you just do it. That's why when I don't know how many, like, if you listen to the same song over and over and over again, it's easier to study rather than listening to, let's say, a whole album, because as long as it's familiar, you don't actually have to think. It's just repetitive and repetitive and repetitive. It's just, you can just work. The act of working is just working. It's not thinking, it's just working. Um, okay, what's the third subtopic? Letting go. Knowing what is happening, concerning over what's important or prioritized. Knowing what's to come, outcome independence, being prepared. Yeah, just focusing on the process is obviously the most important. It's the best way of feeling like you do have control, because you obviously are accepting that you don't have control over the result. And not only that, but focusing on the process in its own way actually gives you control over the situation. Because I think it was like Warren Buffett who said, to you increase your own luck, something like that. Essentially, the more work you put in, the more luck you're gonna have, the more chances you're given. So it's like, essentially, focusing on the process and becoming outcome independent is basically having control. But to not concern yourself over the outcome at some certain point is not a good idea. There's a reason why there's marketing. There's a reason why there are designers in a business, right? You have people who do marketing, people who do let's say the art department, let's go with that. Let's say we're talking like an advertising agency. They're the people who their process is to affect the outcome of the whole entire process that is there. It's just, well, that's their job. But it's the same point I'm making with you. It's like make fuck. Okay. 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 Hold up. We're almost done with this. We're almost halfway through. I know. It's fucked, I know. Knowing what is happening concerning over the, it just goes back to the whole control over external environment. Just information can be debilitating if you don't have clarity, order, categorization, clarity. It's what is important. It's what's going to make you. That's why journaling is so important, because it's just organizing your thoughts. It's not actually doing anything. You're not actually doing anything. You're just clearing out your thoughts and organizing them. It's like cleaning up your room. That's just what you're doing. You're just spilling your thoughts out in front of you, and then you're seeing them for how dumb they actually are. That's pretty much the job, right? So we'll move on from that because we don't have enough fucking time. My sister's in the fucking rain for this fucking shit show. Ah, yes, girl. Third topic, inclusion of self. Are we not worthy to exist? Um, hmm, are we? Some people more than others. Um, no, I'm joking. Well, you could argue it's not, it's true though. You could. I mean, it's upsetting because I feel, again, to deal with control and not feeling like you have control over a lot of bad things that are happening, and there's just a lot of sympathy, you know? We forget how unforgiving and how just brutal nature is. Nature is fucking horrible if you allow it to be. Nature is beautiful, but also just fucking horrid. It's like fuck. Like the power of the waves, the strength of the winds, the fucking cruelty of the fucking ecosystem. Everything is out there to kill you and survive. Literally. It's the same thing with capitalism and all these different things. Everything we have is based off of nature. Basically, shapes, line, form. I just said form, shape, line, form, color, all these different things come from nature regardless, but I'm just regurgitating information that already exists. But hey, maybe this is helpful to you. I don't know. You fuck. No, I'm joking. Love you. Um, let's see. Wow, I can really feel the shits in my, like, really, just like, yeah. Yeah, interesting. Um, Selflessness versus selfishness versus selffulness. To commit to one's own heart. To control the gates of giving and find the compassion, to find true compassion deep within the depths of others. I don't see anything wrong with that point. I don't see anything. You should. The idea of being selfful is not to be selfish, because to be selfish is almost like a branch of narcissism. It's not love for oneself, it's indulgence in oneself, indulgence in the surface of one's surface needs rather than one's internal true needs. constantly wanting people to make you food, which is just another way of saying, oh, wanting people to pay attention to you and offer love through that specific medium. To be selfful is to truly and not not admire oneself but respect oneself and love oneself as if one's own child, to care for one's own future, present, past, nurture that within oneself and respect that, and truly concern themselves with the development of that person, of oneself, while also appreciating what one has and what one is at this particular moment, which is, you could argue, a skill that will be tested time and time again. To commit to one's own heart. We live in a time where we're analyzing the brain. Psychology is only a recent fucking science, you know? The intrigue into the mind and how much we don't understand, you know? It's enticing and I understand why, but that doesn't mean the heart should be overlooked. But also, that doesn't give one an excuse to ignore the development of their own minds. You should still be trying to develop your mind, and it's hard for me to say because it's not easy for me either. But, you know, if you were to ask me what intelligence is, I'd say the ability to solve problems, but through linguistics, so for us it'd be English, verbally communicate, so verbal communication, and mathematical or logic, um, logical situation, logical problems, logical solutions, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's it's still important because to commit to one's own heart is not to translate it. That's what the mind is for, to translate these things, these feelings, these knowings. You know, the heart knows, the mind thinks. I will always say that. You know, the mind's job is to doubt, analyze, be skeptical, scrutinize. The heart's job is to live, to express, to know, to judge, to radiate, let's say. You know, it's to power, you know. The mind's power is different to the heart's power. And I think the heart is so important towards the idea of selfness, because selfishness is just within the mind, within what I want, but the selffulness is what I need. What I need. What do I need? You know, how do I ask for the bare minimum? What do I need and what do I deserve? How do I punish myself and also reward myself? How do I create dopamine and discipline, which is, I think, is the right balance of motivating someone or to create progress, to give them enough dopamine and discipline. That's always going to be the moment of flow where you're concentrated. Of anything other than that, if it's like super focused but there's no discipline, it's just indulgence. It's just indulgence or obsession, which isn't really a good thing either, you know. But I think we're all supposed to go down that rabbit hole at some point. To control the gates of giving and find true compassion deep within the depths of others. Compassion, selflessness is not what the hero is supposed. You don't have to be a selfless person to help people. Elements of selflessness, or at least acknowledgement of one's own place within the macrocosm, is more important than to seem as if you should give yourself away. Every contribution you make to others is a sacrifice in itself. An art piece is a piece of yourself that you're giving away. Work you do is sacrificing your time. Sacrifice is important because we need to give, we need to exchange. But to find true compassion is to be strong, not in being weak, because in being weak is being nice, and being nice doesn't help anyone, because when you're nice, you'll lie to people, you'll betray them because you just didn't want to contort the surface, the appearance of what was, the perception of what was. And that's very funny because people who are very, let's say, artistic tend to be in the realm of perception, because that's what your job facilitates, to see everything as rosy or just worse than it is. That's what art is, the art, the state of perception, and that's what you can experiment with, and what brings creativity, to perceive a problem in a different way. And yeah, using that in interpersonal relationships makes it a lot harder when you're dealing with reality. It brings for a good story, but for actual dealing, it's not helpful. And to purposely make yourself suffer is not useful, because just searching for new things in life will bring obstacles and opportunities to suffer if you're that fucking neurotic. So to have that in your interpersonal relationships, it just isn't healthy, and it's just what allows you to be betrayed, not seeing things for what they actually are. And it's something, not wanting to be political, it's not it's a weakness. It's a weakness for people who tend to vote on the left. They seem to be very compassionate people, but unable, they seem to be nice. Some compassionate, but to be compassionate, truly compassionate, you have to have adequate threat response, which is what they lack, which is a problem. Because when you lack threat detection, you lose a survival instinct, a cunningness, which will only end with you becoming a martyr. You don't become a hero, you become a martyr. There's nothing wrong with being a martyr, but you'd be a lot more of use as a hero rather than a martyr. I'll tell you that. Is there any more fucking water? Just the last sip. I chew gum, but I know that's just gonna piss you guys off. Um, but yeah, I think I'll leave it there. Let's see if any of that was useful to you. Let me know in the comments or something. Give me some feedback. Let me know. Let me know how you feel about this stuff, you know? Let me know. Um, why is it wrong to smile? We project our own limitations onto those we interact with or don't even know. I see no lie there. To be true is better than to be nice, which I've already touched upon. What does it say? Truth is in the heart, nice is in the mind. And also I did lead a note to mention the shadow. I'm sure a lot of you know what the shadow is. The part of ourselves we don't like, that we repress, and that it shouldn't be repressed. The part of ourselves that wants to, for example, let's say kill, to hurt others, to steal. This part of ourselves that we seem to reject in order to have a better face for others and to not be disgusted by ourselves. No one would say they'd ever be a Nazi. No one would ever, and I'd like to think most people wouldn't want to be a Nazi. But if we were to actually go back in time, how many people in that situation would actually become, people are different when you have a gun to their head or you take away their food and water for a few days. They become different people. Not all the time, but, it's the same with when people get money. People like, you changed. What the fuck do you think? Their whole entire life has changed. They're not supposed to stay the same. That's the point. I mean, like I typically say, money brings out the things in yourself you may have repressed. People think that they're good people. They're not. They're just untested. when you're tested by true limitations, when the dark side of you comes out and you have to find out if you really are the person you assume you are. And if you're not tested, well, what do you expect? You're probably going to be corrupted. It's not hard to corrupt people. You know, as they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. I'm sure you know that. But let's go. Yeah, the shadow should integrate the shadow. It's how we become complete. We marry all parts of ourselves, all parts, the parts we don't like and the parts we like. There are two marriages within oneself, the marriages of the masculine and feminine in the positive sense, and the marriage of the masculine and feminine within the negative sense. We, like, positive sense of masculine would be order, um, thinking, in rational thinking. In the feminine sense, it would be let's go with nurturing, intuition, sense of taste, yeah, beauty. And in the negative sense, feminine, manipulation, um resentment, while the masculine would be aggression, um bluntness. And yeah, pretty much. It's the art of marrying oneself in order to find love within oneself, love of the good and the bad. You know, your mom loves you regardless of what you do. At least I hope so. Like, what can I say? Fucking, it's a lot peaker for some people, but like, I don't know where I was going with that. Let's not go in circles. We project our own limitations onto those we interact with and we don't even know. People do this to me so many times. They use the information they've gathered from others and presume that it's applicable to someone else, even though they've gotten to know them. People do that to me. People assume I'm going to say something because other people they know have said that. It's not the case, babes. Not the case. It's You can't do that. You have to see every new situation as a brand new. You have to respect that people are different. And that's why you accept the power you hold, because you accept that you can walk away. You have the power to leave. That's where assertiveness comes from. The ability to recognize that you don't have to hold on to this. You can just walk away. It's not something to use as a threat or as an ultimatum like every 2 seconds, but it's something to remember when someone tries to step on you. When someone tries to step on you, um, without any unwarranted reason. Sorry, I thought. Oh, for fuck. Alright, I'm back. I have no idea what the fuck you've had, but I'm gonna have to re-listen to this shit, aren't I? My sister got me a baguette. Sexy. Weird smell. I would have eaten during this, but fuck that. I still need to take a shit anyway. Ooh. I think I've made my point. I don't know where I came from, so I think we'll leave that point there. The art of compromise and conversation. Before I get into the points in this, I just want to say, when I say the art of conversations, the idea to give oneself and receive another, to bounce back between them. It's like juggling, It's like from me to you, to you to me, ba 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 ba. There's a finesse. There's a kind of, oh, here's me, here's then you. But in order to do that, especially if you have low self-esteem, you have to assume that people will want to hear you. And people usually do. They assume that, especially when they're with their friends. That's why they're your friends, because they want to hear about you too. When you have low self-esteem and you feel like no one actually wants to hear you, it's hard to have a conversation and to actually master that art, which is hard. I know how that feels and it's fucking shit, but it's what we gotta do. You just you have to start. If you don't feel like you don't bring anything of value, you just gotta you just gotta read more, learn more, engage in more culture, find a community into which you fit in, which I will talk about soon, but your own mental state, your own mentality towards your individuality plays a large role. How you perceive to isolate yourself can really harm how you socialize with other people. But regardless, the art, it's the same with the art of compromise, between the two of you. And there is no way you can compromise without respecting that you are a self in this exchange. The idea that there are two selves exchanging, and you both have 100, but you both know that that's not going to work, so you both give 20% of each other to each other. And that's where self assurance is necessary. Because if there's no self assurance in oneself, the idea that one is worthy of something, to receive information or to give information, there is an imbalance. And what happens? Someone is left feeling like they've been cheated. So, let's just go forward from that. Now, the points within that, how individuality is an emotional response to the community, and sovereignty breeds respect and inspiration and builds a network. Did I lie? Did I lie? How individually is how individuality is an emotional response to the community. Well, it is. I mean, if you constantly see yourself as a lone wolf, as I do many a times, you're kind of perceiving yourself as different from everyone else. Every single identity you have is a reverberation from the other identities. Your identity is crafted from what you say no to. You're shown who you are by what you reject rather than what you accept. You know, it's the same thing as the process of editing. It's the same thing. You are crafting your own self, your own personality, your um your own, let's go with your own persona. It's like sculpting marble. You're, instead of adding, you're digging in and you're crafting in lines, just like ding 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 ding. I don't know how painful that was for you to hear, but yeah. Yeah, it's just, what can I say? It's painful. It's painful, but it's like that's what you got to do. The inability to say no is just the inability to know oneself, to know what it is one wants to do. There is a benefit that, versatility, adaptability, these things. Usually, creativity is usually linked with it, and being able to see multiple opportunities. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a problem when it's not serving you or when it's debilitating your ability to see oneself. You could argue, like, yeah, that can contribute towards your art, but anything can contribute towards your art. You know what doesn't contribute towards your art? Not being able to do your art because your personal life is harming your productivity, like, consistently. It's just not helpful. But yeah, in individuality is an emotional response to the community. When one feels they do not fit in the community, they feel that they are an individual. But that doesn't mean you can't be an individual within the community. The community only just gives context to your individuality. It doesn't have to take away the fact that you're an individual. Yes, there will be people who are similar to you, very similar to you. Regardless, you will find people who look almost exactly like you. Over your period of time living, you will find someone who dresses like you and who physically looks like you. That doesn't mean your individuality is completely stripped away. What would be a good example? There are people with similar national insurance numbers to you. That doesn't mean yours isn't a unique code. It's the same case that I'm putting here. Sovereignty breeds respect and inspiration and builds a network. Again, sovereignty, the idea that you are sovereign, self-assurance, self-respect, self-confidence. You know, the difference between self-assurance and self-confidence is the confidence that you are the trust that you are able to manipulate external circumstances to your own will. While self-assurance is the just faith in who you are, the comfort in just being or existing as you are in that present moment. While the self-confidence is based on the hypothetical, the future. And yeah, once you are a node in the network, what do you think is going to happen? The network expands and expands and expands. And then what happens? You become more intertwined and you become someone that people come to for you, for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's quite empowering. But when you see it in a lens that, in a lens of debilitation, of weakness, it harms you and it just leads to procrastination. Okay, let's move on. Self-love and the community. I need a fucking glass of water. I might eat a bit of that baguette, you know. I'm fucking hungry. I'm hungry. Fuck. You know what? Let's take a 5-minute break. This was supposed to happen after the second topic, but you know what? Let's take a break. You know, quick 5, sushi break. See you after the break. Okay, and we're back. Had like half a baguette and some water. Fucking right off. And we're back. Okay, I think we're good now. Got the last topic, 4th topic. Fucking right. I'm feeling great. How are you feeling? Mad. Um, so 4th topic is self-love and the community. Okay, let's get into it. How do we fit into the world? A space shaped to us. I really want to talk about that. A space shaped to us. Oh, fuck's sake. Body's fucking it up for me. Yeah, a space shaped to us. It's funny because, like, if there's a space shaped to us in this world, does that mean that this is all a jigsaw puzzle where all the spaces are fitted to us, and because of that, they tend to not actually perfectly fit, and we may force them into each other by circumstance or maybe by fate, I don't fucking know, or that everyone just perfectly fits with each other in their exact place. Don't know. That's quite a meta-analysis we have over there. But regardless, I just thought that was something to think over. Carrying on, context of being. More than one is needed to become whole. More than one. What? Oh, more than one is needed to become whole, as in like more than one person is needed in order to feel like you are whole. We are reflected by what we love and what we hate. We're connected by those things. Well, yeah, I mean, it's Kat who did tell me, like, you have to be able to love someone in order to hate them, which I find interesting. I mean, some people would say no, but I would say yes. In order to have that much of an extreme emotional response, you kind of have to have the capacity to love that person. Yeah. pretty much we're connected by those things. Again, it links back to the thing I said before, where um we're we are shown who we are by what we say no to, while choices show who we are. And a lot of the times, the no's matter a lot more than the yeses. One person is all it takes. All it takes to network. You don't need to know everyone. Sometimes it's okay to know one person who knows everyone, which does say, like, which does ask, who holds the responsibility to network? Is it a responsibility? And if so, is it necessary for everyone to know everyone? Isn't it more efficient for some people to not know everyone? Um, Life is created through relationships. I do believe that a lot of the things that you will encounter will be through other people. Life is created through relationships, experiences through relationships, problems through relationships. A lot of time, as much as you can be someone who focuses more on concepts and objects, people will be the reason why those things come to you in the first place. Even recently, coming to interpret money as more of a relationship in itself. So you could say that we have relationships to our objects, emotional attachments. That is something you could argue is true. We seep into sprouts of networks and interests we never knew of through others. Just goes back to life is created through relationships and the point I just made. And the last sub point is slaves to ourselves. We use external stimuli to limit ourselves. Snake under the flower, I'm not sure what that means. Not Wait, what? Eh? Not know that it is true and saying, yet not know it's not truly us. Wait, what? We use external stimuli to limit ourselves, yes, not knowing that it's truly us. Man, nice one, Levi. Yeah, it's true though. It's true. It's the same fear. It's the same as the theory of the what is it? The looking glass self or something like that. Something like that. I don't need to reference all these things. It's just common sense. It's just common sense. Everyone is a reflection of us, but we tend to externalize our power. Yeah, slaves to ourselves. We tend to limit ourselves and not recognize the power we have in the everyday. Once we recognize that, we become autonomous and independent and sovereign as people. And what does that do? Make us feel powerful. And what does that do? Make us respect ourselves. It just leads to that. It's not the same path for everyone, but in general, it does work. It's a science more than an art. Well, I argue it's the art in a sense of the actual act of being able to do something. You know, it's open to interpretation, open to philosophy, but at the end of the day, the actual act of um internalizing power is a science in a way. It can be formulaic. It's something anyone can follow, whether creative or not. And the funny thing about being creative is that you have the option to pick and choose what certain non-creative routines or I don't want to say traditions, formalities that you can abide by, which is quite interesting. The only drawback is that you have unlimited things to draw from. You can draw from this, from that, from this, from that. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know. That's the problem. Is that you're free. You're truly free. And with that freedom, you realize how many options you have, and it's overwhelming. And you end up feeling lost. But yeah, When we stop, it's again back to the internal external power trip. Let's go with that. But if you look around your room or wherever you are that you have created, that environment is a reflection of who you are. All the choices you've made as to how you decorate it, how you lay it out, what tools you use, because the environment is not really the full walls, it's the tools that are there and materials that are there for you to use. A classroom is determined a classroom when there is a desk, a chair, a teacher, a whiteboard or chalkboard, then it's okay. If you take the chalkboard and the teacher away, it's an office. If you put a bed, it's a bedroom. If you put a sink and you take away the bed and you put a shower, it's a very weird bathroom. I don't know. If you choose to have a desk there, cool. You know, whatever. But it's the point. That's the point. You look at your room. What does it say about you? What choices did you make? What colors did you implement? What tools are there? You know, if you love music, how many music tools are there? How many instruments or music tools or how many physical stores of music, not stores of music, physical manifestations of music do you have? You know, your room is a reflection of who you are. That's why you're given space. All your choices and habits show you who you are, your behaviors, as well as your clothes. A lot of people can relate to the idea of searching for identity through your clothes, but your clothes are only a part of who you are. The immediate display of your individuality. But when people come into your home, it's a deep dive into your psychology, you know, your bedroom. You know, you show that to those who come in, those who are closest to you, who are family, who are friends, this and that. What does your room, your environment say? What environment have you crafted for yourself? What pot have you crafted for you to blossom within? Your environment will tell you. For me, in my environment, you know, there's a music speaker. The most significant thing is the music system, and it's there right next to me. It's right on the ground. TV for entertainment. There are books. There are some few physical stores of music. There's a fucking bong. Why? Don't judge me. There is, what is that? Oh, cleaning supplies, photography supplies. What does your room say? The objects you say, your purchases reflect how you respect your self-esteem. It's shown that through your possessions. That's why people increase their display of status once they increase their overall status, especially monetary, because when you get more money, you spend more. That's kind of usually what happens. Not saying, oh, yeah, you won't, but that's usually what the point of money is. That's why you need to look at your environment and say, what kind of environment have I created with the freedom of control? Even if you have little or you have literally like a bedroom, you can create a portable environment. It's up to you what kind of environment you've created for yourself because that's going to foster the growth. If you're a writer and you don't have a fucking desk, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. You can argue you can be a writer without a desk, but to create an environment for an act is so important. It's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not gonna promote traditional schools because I do also think that being outside is very important. It would be very interesting to study outside, but that's not exactly a certain luxury that we can all have, especially because of no control over the weather. And if it's raining, I don't think it's good for paper to be in the fucking rain, let alone ourselves. So that's another thing to deal with. But look at your room. Take the time to look at what kind of environment have you created. Have you created one that fosters towards your natural hierarchy of needs, your food, warmth, sleep? water? Is there a connection to nature? Is there sufficient entertainment? Is there sufficient catering towards any kind of productive work? Is it one that just it's full of stimulation or still gives you time for solitude? How have you taken advantage of the life that you live now? How have you made it circle around you? You have to ask yourself that. We think too fast to build relationships. With that, letting the shadow take control. I don't think we think too fast. We think too much and react too fast. We react too fast to things that happen. Well, I don't think all of us do, but I think it's not uncommon to see that kind of behavioral pattern. And when the shadow takes control, again, because we're acting on appearances, when the shadow takes control, it just harms our relationships, harms them. And then when we see the results of what happens when we let the shadow seep through, because we haven't taken the time to acknowledge it and take control of it, it harms our relationship. And then we start to criticize ourselves instead of our actions and start to think, oh, I did something wrong. Fuck, I am a bad person. No, you just haven't mastered yourself. It's so important. I will always prioritize that as a lesson. The mastery of oneself and to consistently seek to understand oneself is the basis of everything in your life. It's thing, whether you're a family man, a friendship man, a relationship man or woman, in all these things, you know what I mean. What other person? A study person, a work person, all these different things. It's the basis. It's what makes you find out if you're any of these things. And it's why it's important to also have moments of solitude, healthy solitude, not being alone, healthy solitude, which requires relationships with other people to even begin with. Solitude, healthy solitude, and one that is connected with destimulation and contemplation, where you can have a moment to just not think and just reflect, and also just to be. So you can drain your thoughts. I think it was Alan Watts that was talking about how bad it is to constantly think. Because when you constantly think, you're not thinking any productive thoughts. You're just thinking for the sake of thinking, and your thoughts just won't be productive in any way. But yeah, I'll leave it with that. Slaves to ourselves and our own habits, our own shadows, like they hurt us so much. But when we choose to master ourselves and to break free and to own the right to be ourselves and to own ourselves, we become who we could be. Our acceptance of our own limitations and to be human and to be a specific human, it's what makes us us. It's what makes you you and what makes me me. And the connections between those are what make us get along. And the differences are what make our relationships interesting. I think that's important to go away with, to master oneself, to understand oneself, because it's something that will continue to elude you and entertain you. You will never be able to truly understand yourself because you are always surprising yourself every day. So it will also lead you. It will lead you somewhere you don't even expect. And then you'll find out if there's a next journey or if this journey is just continuing. You know, the search for self through creativity, through manufacturing, through something. It's hard because it's like, how do you learn to understand yourself through, let's say, art? I don't know. I don't know. You're just going to have to find a way to express yourself. And through that, learning to actually understand, it's just constant. But yeah, seek to master oneself. So, what have we gone over? The idea of power. What does control mean? The inclusion of self. Are we worthy to exist? and self-love in the community, how we fit in the world, and how we have a space shaped to us, for us. Thank you guys for listening to this. I know it's been quite chaotic, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Hope I made you laugh at some point. You guys know I love you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for listening. Hopefully more to come. And I shall become better at this, and this shall be something of value to you guys. Before we go, I hope you do enjoy this. If you do like being informed, if you do like thinking, if you do like hearing other people, if you like hearing me thinking, do you like, I don't know, do you like being informed? Do you like hearing what I have to say? Do you like being able to have new ideas? Well, you could always, subscribe, like, check the last episode, alkaline with a hint, alkaline test strip with a hint of rage. It's a test episode, but hey, if you want more content, there's more content. Hit up the other links. Share with your friends if you want to. Again, this was a shit show, so I'm not expecting much. But hey, do if you can, you can. Let's see what goes. Let's see what happens. But I think that's all. I think that's all for today. We'll see what happens. See you next month for another episode of kuakchat. Yeah, I know, a month so far away. Hey, I need time to think. You need time to do things. So it's best for the both of us if we just take this slow. Yeah, yeah. It's not you, it's me. Yeah, yeah. I say no. What are you telling me? That I'm not even gonna get into this. Thank you guys so much for this. Have a good day. Subscribe, like, share. Check out the other stuff. I love you. Hope you love yourself too. Have a good day. See you in the next one.